Hey everybody, it's John from findmycoat.com, and today I want to talk to you briefly about the Horn coat of arms. So let's go ahead and get started. Our database has over 60 coats of arms for the Horn surname. And that is because, for the most part, generally speaking, coats of arms did not belong to entire surnames or entire families. They actually belonged to individuals or groups of individuals, like perhaps brothers, and they were typically inherited by the eldest son. Here we show several different coats of arms for the Horn surname. They're from various locations around Europe, such as England, Scotland, Finland, Sweden, Prussia, Bavaria, Westphalia, and Holland. And one of the more prominent symbols featured within these coats of arms is the bugle horn, or the hunter's horn, as it's known. And of course, that's because of the surname itself. Now, it's actually known as a drinking horn, and these are attested to from the Viking Scandinavian age. They're written about within Scandinavian or Norse mythology, and one of the stories, I know Thor drank from a horn that, unbeknownst to him, contained water from all of the seas in the world. And I know they were also featured within the Old English poem Beowulf. So let's go to Scandinavia and look at an example of the Horn coat of arms and who bore it. So the progenitor of the family, or the first known person to bear this coat of arms, his seal featured this drinking horn. Yellow, it's a yellow shield with a black depiction of a hunting horn on it. His name was Olaf Matsson. He lived in the 14th century AD, and his descendants bore the surname Horn after this point. Many of his descendants were ennobled under various extensions of the surname, such as Baron Klaus Christopherson, Baron Klaus Christensen Horn, who lived between 1517 and 1566 AD. He was a Finnish-born Swedish naval admiral who fought in the 7 Years' War, and he was elevated to the nobility as a baron in 1561. And as well as Count Gustav Horn, who lived from 1592 to 1657. He was a military commander at the Battle of Breitenfeld in 1611, where he helped secure a victory for Sweden. He also served as the Governor General of Livonia, and in 1651, he was elevated to the nobility as a count by Queen Christina. Moving over to the Netherlands, there was also horn families from the Netherlands. One example here was Wilhelm Adrian van Horn, who lived in the later portion of the 17th century. He was a Dutch artillery general, and interestingly, he had 3 daughters, Isabella, Amelie, and Johanna, who all married high-ranking members of the Dutch Army or the Dutch Navy. And we see his coat of arms here, which is yellow and has 3 hunting horns instead of 1. And these hunting horns are red, or gules, instead of black or sable, like Mr. Olaf Mattinsson's coat of arms. So if we go forward one slide, we can see Wilhelm's coat of arms depicted on this monument or memorial to him. That's at St. Victor's Church in Battenberg, which is a small village in the Netherlands. And you can see his coat of arms depicted here within the first and fourth quarter of the coat of arms. These are a little more bent. They look like U's. I think that's just probably the stylistic interpretation of the artist. So let's move forward. There were also Horn families in the United Kingdom who had coats of arms. Let's just discuss a few of the coats of arms from England and Scotland that are documented. The first belonged to a Sir John de Horn of Sussex. He bore Giles a fret vare. And it looks like he lived during the reign of Edward II. Going forward, we have an unknown knight by the surname of Horn. We don't know his first name. And he bore Giles 3 buglehorn sable. And there's also another one with some crescents and crosses in the background, which is interesting because that differs significantly from a horn. Going forward, there was also a William de Horns or Hornay, I don't know how you pronounce that, who bore argent 3 hunting horns in pale gules garnished sable, which is depicted here. And I want to show one more before we wrap up soon here. We have the Horn coat of arms. This is from Scotland. I don't know anything about the bearer. I wasn't able to find much. But you see here the difference is you have 3 hunting horns, but they appeal to be heraldic in nature, where they're slightly styled a little bit different, and you have this hand or this arm coming out of a cloud grasping one of them. Now, there are tons more that I'm showing here, not the coats of arms, but the blazons. And they're from all kinds of different locations within the United Kingdom, such as Durham and Norfolk and Salop and Sussex and London and Kent. And I'm going to talk about one more before we wrap up, I promise. This one is interesting because it has a hunting horn, but it also has unicorns, which the other ones don't. So I wanted to look into this one just a little bit more. And I found that it belonged to, I believe, a Mr. James Horn of Westhall. He was the minister or vicar of Elgin in Scotland. It's thought that he was born around 1630 AD. And here it says that he matriculated arms in that year or earlier. I won't get into what matriculation means. That's beyond the scope of this video. But he was the guy who owned this coat of arms shown here. And he was from Westhall. And Westhall Castle, we show right here. It said that he purchased this in 1681. Parts of it date back to a century earlier, and it's currently in a semi-derelict status. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a visit at our website at findmycoat.com. Thank you very much.